Good morning, everyone, and welcome into this day with Quimper Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Please check to see if your cell phones are off. Whoever you are, wherever you're from, whomever you love, and whatever your faith tradition, you are welcome here. My name's Kate Kinney, and I minister here at QUUF, and Jane Albee will serve as our worship assistant. I'd like to begin this service by acknowledging that the water, land, and shorelines here in Port Townsend are the traditional territory of the S'Klallam and Chimicum peoples. We honor and acknowledge our indigenous members and neighbors and vow to help restore and sustain their homelands. As we call in our time together, let us settle our minds and calm our hearts with the ringing of our chime. Well, it's great to be back together, and welcome back, Christina. We really missed you. And now I'd like to welcome Kristin and Otto Smith and Ikue Goldstein, who will play our Prelude, the Allegro from C.P.E. Bach's Trio in E major. Thank you, Kristin, Otto, and Ikue. That was beautiful. Please join me now in our chalice lighting words. We light our chalice out of gratitude for the great abundance that has been given to this community. Our abundance is a gift to be shared with all who abide in this space and all who walk through our doors. Our opening words are by Frederick and Mary Ann Bruzette. The spiritual practice of gratitude has been a state of mind and a way of life, but we prefer to think of it as the grammar, an underlining structure that helps us construct and make sense out of our lives. The rules of this grammar cover all of our activities. Its syntax reveals the system of relationships linking us to the divine and to every other part of the creation. To learn the grammar of gratitude, practice saying thank you for happy and challenging experiences, for people, animals, things, art, memories, dreams. Count your blessings, utter blessings, and express your appreciation to everything and everyone you encounter. By blessings, we are blessed. Our responsive reading is called Gratitude, and it's by Swiftwater. Let's start with the people we love and those who love us, thankful that they are in our lives, obliging us to open our hearts. Then, with hearts open to beauty, let us embrace the arts and the generation of learning that we should have wisdom. May it be so. For the opening to make it so, let us be truly grateful. Now I'd like to welcome Bo Ogren, our Director of Family Ministry. Bo?
Good morning, everyone. I'm also going to light our chalice for us as well. Okay. Good morning, everyone. In our RE classes this morning, first we are going to talk about the power of waiting in our littlest class. In our middle elementary class, we are going to be starting our unit on Buddhism, and in our middle school class, we are starting our unit on Islam in preparation for a visit to a mosque in 2 weeks. So if those of you on the aisles will rise in body or spirit, we will sing our children to their classes.
In peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Thank you, Bo. What we'd like to do now is acknowledge and welcome those of you who are visiting us today. If you are online with us, you are invited to tell us who you are and where you're from in the chat section. That can be found at the bottom and on the right-hand side of your screen once it's out of full screen. If you are here in person, please rise as you are able, or raise your hand so that we may welcome you. Welcome. Oh, and even more. Welcome to you. We're glad you're here. We will now receive the offering, which today goes to our local food banks. If you would like to donate to this worthy cause, you have a few options. Here in the sanctuary, the ushers will pass among you and receive the offering. For those of you viewing online, just text the amount that you'd like to give to the number now showing at the bottom of your screen. Or you may go to our website, QUUF.org, and click on the Giving link. Or simply mail a check to QUUF. Just remember to put Food Bank Offering in the memo line. We will now gratefully receive your offering as we listen to the Vaccinated voices sing Like a Mighty Stream.
Thanks, Pat and the Vaccinated voices. And now a big thank you to David Cobert for creating this lovely and functional rail so our musicians no longer have to offer us their life and limb when they are climbing the stairs. So thank you, David. And a reminder, next Sunday starts daylight savings time, so push forward an hour, right? And boo, did I hear? You have an announcement from Karen Wamstead from the Healthy Community team.
Well, thank you, Kate. Karen Walmstead here from the Healthy Community Team. As usual, we're hosting a conversation circle here. We thought we would do this only for a few Sundays and try it out, but it's really caught on. So we might just continue and we can give up this announcement because it'll become what you normally expect. So it's a chance for you to go out and get some coffee, greet some friends, and meet some visitors, and then come on back here around 11:15. You'll know when it's time when you hear the bell. Thank you.
Thanks, Karen. And we now have an announcement by Tiny Finnegan and Robin Sterman.
Good morning. I'm Robin Steeman. The annual pledge campaign is a time for us to reflect on our commitment to QUUF. One way to reflect on that commitment is to read the important testimonials that are in each week's weekly update. Ellen Dustman has a wonderful testimonial in Friday's update, just this last Friday. I highly recommend it. This year we're being called to reimagine QUUF. I'm on the committee, and as you can imagine, those of us on the Pledge Committee realize we have a big job ahead. How can we get your attention? How can we make a big splash? It is my honor and pleasure to introduce Tiny Finnegan, this year's Pledge Ambassador, with exciting pledge news for us. Tiny.
Thank you, Robin. The committee asked me to create a pledge event that would be huge, and I know huge.
I heard there might be a brunch.
A brunch? That's not a drop in the ocean of what I envision. I don't see just a brunch. I see a brunch-a-palooza on April 2nd at 11 o'clock, right after the Sunday service.
But Tiny, what's a brunch-a-palooza?
A brunch-a-palooza is a grand event with fun, friends, and frolicking. There will be oceans of delicious food, a tidal wave of bagels, coffee cakes, and fresh baked goods. We'll have egg, vegetarian, and vegan casseroles. We'll have gluten-free, vegan, and dairy-free selections. And coffee. We'll be swimming in coffee. And I know swimming.
But Tiny, how can people get involved?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Robin. There is a grand bulletin board by the office filled with 67 important tasks, both big and small. For example, flowers, baking, cooking, setup, cleanup, bagel slicing. Your help is needed. Dive in and sign up to contact Peg Hunter or Robin Steeman to volunteer. We'll have seating in the fellowship hall, in the garden, and in the sanctuary. We'll also have a few surprises. Everyone is invited. It's a great chance to drop off your pledge card if you haven't already.
I predict, with your help, we are going to have a whale of a good time at the Brunch-a-Palooza on April 2nd
at 11 o'clock.
And we'll have a successful pledge campaign to support our beloved QUUF. And you know the old saying, The old saying, where there's a whale, there's a way.
Don't forget to sign up.
And remember, where there's a whale, there's a way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that was fun. And welcome, Tiny, to the community. And now a word from the board.
Ladies and gentlemen, and those in between or undecided, welcome to the greatest show we know how to do. Do it, do it. Come see how we juggle everything thrown at us skillfully without dropping anything, but gravity appears to be extra strong this morning. How we wear many hats on the board. How we do lots of different things. This Tuesday, come to the Tacoma Dome for the no, that's different. Come hear the board update on Tuesday. Say it with me. Tuesday. Come experience whining, the kind you do with a glass. And cookies will be there too. Our many announcements have directed you to sign up genius. It's not sign up, comma, genius. You don't have to be a genius to sign up. Apparently it helps, but it's okay. If you can't make it work, then come anyway, and maybe you'll be a genius when you leave. Come find out why the board is so optimistic about our future. It's been said that bad news travels 5 times faster than good news. So come and hear the good news directly from the people doing all the good work. You'll hear from committees and task forces and teams telling you exactly what's going on here and why we're so optimistic and well coordinated on the board. Everything works smoothly and magically on your board. Don't worry, it's under control. So yes, and we're not above bribing you, so come and have cookies and wine with us on Tuesday, starting promptly at 6-ish and running until exactly 8 or so. So be there and come see our many hats.
Well, there are a few squished oranges over here. Oh, well, orange juice. Okay. So we share our joys and our sorrows, recognizing that our personal joys and sorrows are only a fragment of the joys and sorrows of the larger community of life. And thus we place this first stone thinking in particular of all those caught in the snow and rescue attempts in the Sierra Nevadas, where 12 feet of snow arrived this week, and I've heard there's more to come. And now within the congregation, we light a candle for Carl Allen, who broke a titanium rod in his back. He is waiting news on what the next step will be, and we're really rooting for you, Carl. We light a candle for Rick Doherty. He is currently at the Life Care Center. He only wants interaction with family at this time, so you could send him a card, but please do not call or visit. We wish him and his family blessings during this time. And we place a final stone, holding in our hearts the joys and sorrows I've just shared, but also thinking of such joys and sorrows among us that are unexpressed but of no less importance. I invite you now into a moment of silence.
Our reading this morning is a poem by Richard Levine entitled Bread. Each night, in a space he'd make between waking and purpose, my grandfather donned his one suit in our still dark house and drove through Brooklyn's deserted streets, following trolley tracks to the bakery. There, he'd change into white linen work clothes and cap. And in the absence of women, his hands were both loving, well into dawn and throughout the day, kneading, rolling out, shaping each astonishing moment of yeasty predictability. In that windowless world, lit by slightly swaying naked bulbs, where the shadows staggered, woozy, with the aromatic warmth of the work. Then the suit and drive again. At our table, graced by a loaf that steamed when we sliced it and softened the butter and leavened the very air we'd breathe, he'd call us blessed. We will now hear from Bruce Zellernitis about our pledge campaign.
Somebody gave me this hat, so I probably should wear it. Well, it doesn't fit too well. Yes, good morning. I'm Bruce Zellernitis, your board treasurer. And thanks for giving me the opportunity to spend a few minutes to talk about the budget for the next fiscal year, which begins this upcoming July. I want to open with this quote from Robin Wall Kimmerer in Braided Sweetgrass. Even a wounded world is feeding us. Even a wounded world holds us, giving us moments of wonder and joy. I choose joy over despair. Not because I have my head in the sand, but because joy is what the earth gives me daily, and I must return the gift. Please join us in financially supporting QUUF as we choose joy over despair and step into reimagining our future as a UU congregation, anticipating a new developmental minister and the further healing of our fellowship. You will all receive a more detailed budget summary in your pledge packet, but I thought I would give you just some highlights. Excuse me. In order to support next year's operating budget without taking funds from the operating reserve, the proposed pledge goal is going to be increased by 15.3%. And our fundraising goal, excuse me, is going to be increased by 21.4%. Now on the expense side, staff compensation, including taxes and benefits, is going to be increasing overall by 9.9% and is impacted by the following: hiring of a developmental minister, state mandated minimum annual wages for exempt, which are those people that are salaried employees, and 8.7 cost of living allowance for non-exempt staff, increases in the cost of healthcare insurance, increase in retirement and employer taxes due to the increased wages. As we transition out of the impacts of the COVID years into more normal operations at the fellowship, programming costs are budgeted to increase by 20.3%. This is primarily impacted by ministry, professional expenses, increase in Sunday services expenses, and Sunday morning childcare. Our general operations, administration, and facilities expenses are all decreased overall thanks to a thrifty staff and careful monitoring of expenses by our administrator, Janelle. An added one-time cost this coming year will be the payment of moving expenses for the developmental minister, which is estimated to be up to $15,000. In short, this is the budget we need to move forward with our new developmental minister. Our fellowship thrives entirely because of the generosity of volunteer support of its members and friends. This budget belongs to all of us, and it takes all of us to bring it to fruition. We invite you to join the board, the pledge campaign team, and the finance committee in supporting QUUF's future. Thanks.
Thanks, Bruce. I have for many years found ways to get out of doing a sermon on raising money, tithing, stewardship, or pledging. I always squirmed a way out of it. This is my first pledge sermon in my life. No one ever seemed to notice that I would ask a fellow staff member or the head of the board or an amazing community member, and they always said yes when I asked them to speak on Pledge Sunday. But then dear Janelle puts my name down for doing a sermon to open the pledge campaign. I'm finally caught, folks. And I had to think about why this topic is one that I run from. First, I came from a family that never, ever talked about money. Not that we had a lot, but we didn't talk about it. No one knew what my father made financially, but we knew that he was the breadwinner. And about church, well, all through my growing up, the pastor would run off on how we were all country bumpkins and did not do our share in supporting the church, and that we did not know the value of $1. And then I would watch my father, as we would go home, react with anger about the preacher's obnoxious pretense. So I think it wore off on me, and money is not something that I want to talk about. So I've been thinking about this silence that some of us have about asking for financial help or about sharing our resources. And I think it may come from reticence about speaking what we may conceive as being private. And of course, that's ridiculous. Money is just money. It helps us create community, do outreach, and become healthy human beings. We don't live in a barter system. We spend money to maintain our sustenance and that of others. Sometimes we spend it to show love and joy. But some of us may feel shame that we have too much or too little. Well, if so, we need to get over it. QUUF is a community, and that means that we give out of our abundance. Money is simply paper, unless we give it an identity for fostering a balanced life and a format for creating healthy communities of service and friendship. There are many ways of looking at money. One model is the scarcity model. I don't have enough. I need to protect myself. What if this happens or that happens? Should I buy more insurance? Will I be able to make it? We all know that at times we want to escape when things become unknown or iffy. We want consistency and reinsurance. But living in fear for the long run does not satisfy. And the other model is one of abundance, feeling blessed in what I have, being willing to share, knowing that we will provide for one another, that we trust that if I put in my share, others will too, knowing that we have an abundance and rejoicing in it, not needing to hold on to what we have, but give away in thankfulness. We've all had moments when we know that life is so fleeting and so precarious. It is at those moments when we can open our arms to the abundance that is all around us. Yes, even in Ukraine, there is abundance. Steadfast spirits, determination, acts of kindness, self-sacrifice, and a willingness to hold up fellow citizens. A healthy community looks at what it has, makes prudent decisions, and knows that money must also be shared. That is why I love the poem about the grandfather and the bread that was read this morning. He has enough, works hard, and shares his work in blessing. And the message takes root in his grandson. The simplicity of the poem is what is most striking. We can worry all we want, but if we are in a gracious community, we have enough. Is this an anti-pledge drive sermon? No, just the opposite. Remember the funny story of the stone soup? If we have a rock, we put it in the pot, and eventually everyone puts one thing into the pot, a carrot, a turnip, and there we are. Yummy soup that fills the tummy and brings joy to the community, and everyone eats. But if we hold on to the one thing that we have for our own security, well, we go to bed hungry, especially the person who owned the rock. A 7th grader that I know took it upon herself to raise money for a country caught in an environmental crisis. Her tactics were everything from cookie bakes to pledge drives. Within a few weeks, she had made $1,000 from the pockets of fellow middle schoolers. She did it from the ground up. She organized others, and she was helping create a communal, generous heart. So let's look at our QUUF pledge drive as one of loving generosity. We give what we can, and we stretch ourselves to give a little more. And we look at our values. A friend of mine taught me to look at the pie chart that comes with my credit card statement at the end of the year. It divides what is spent on medical, housing, food, car, travel, entertainment, and charity. The first time that I did this exercise, I was surprised at the size of certain parts of the chart. And then I decided to make another pie chart of the things and the places that I loved. How much would I donate to various friends in need? Political parties, national disasters, and my spiritual homes. When I did this, the pie chart shifted dramatically. And then I examined my will. What are the places that I want to survive after my death? What are the values that I want to pass on? My late husband and I took our will and began looking at things a bit differently. Yes, there would be something for the family, but a good portion of our will would go to institutions beyond our family boundaries. One of them would be our church and the disaster relief services that it fostered. And again, the pie chart shifted. We told folks in the younger family generation about our decision, and they were okay with it. It is teaching that our world is not just that of blood relations. We are all interconnected. So we give us a heart filled with gratefulness, and as we are able. And there is a difference between gratitude and gratefulness. Gratitude is being thankful for someone that has given something to us personally. And so we have gratitude to that person. Gratefulness, on the other hand, is a spirit of open-hearted thankfulness. It is joy in every little moment of the day, our morning coffee, the penny found in the walkway, the smile of a stranger. All of this can be found with the eyes of gratitude, and then we pass the gratitude on. I hope that our pledge drive falls into this category. We give not because we must or should or out of reciprocity, but because of hearts filled with gratefulness. I would ask you to do this exercise. What is it that I love about this group of people called QUUF? What about this organization makes me want to pledge a part of my resources to this body? So I did this myself, and here's a portion of my list. The people. Yes, we have opinions here, folks. And sometimes I don't agree with everything that is said or done, but I trust in the whole. This is a strong group of folks, and I believe that we love the community and the institution of QUUF. I know that this body of folks cares deeply about holding this sacred space. Staff. Your staff works hard to hold to the values of the UUA and QUUF. The staff is committed, has a great sense of humor, and will tell it like it is. And this staff has compassion. I love the folks who work here and who are holding up the walls in spirit of this space. You have a really good deal with the people who work here. The board. What good, committed people you've selected to be your board leaders. I have never seen a board work so hard as the board here at QUUF. If things do not go as expected, well, they try again, and it is in good faith. Volunteers. There are some volunteers who make this place turn on its head to get work done and values held up. Hats off to all of you. And special thanks to those who stood up and have been helping us move through a process of learning how to hear one another. Programs. Programs and activities pop up every week around here, and there is a little something for everyone. Drums beating on one day, Buddha's laughter on another, and books, discussions, films, and even cooking. Sense of social justice. People at QUUF work to make a better world. There is a sense of commitment and urgency to reach out. It is good to be on the road for inclusiveness, diversity, and positive social change. Pastoral care team. Wow, what a dedication and ability to change lanes. Every member of the pastoral team said yes to splitting this community into neighborhood areas. What a loving group of people. These folks walk the extra mile. Sunday services. This is a small but ardent group. Come join us. Sundays are the time that we say this is who we are. The team serves with great dedication. People who care for your safety. Yes, it was hard to shut down, but now we're back. And folks who were making hard decisions for the last few years never got the round of applause that they deserve. And how about our buildings and grounds? I love to walk around our beautiful campus, and people are here who care for every inch of our property. This amazing building, I love this room. I love the light, especially when you walk in during the week, that creeps through the sanctuary. I love the nooks and crannies that you put into the building when you were raising it. I love its simplicity. And I really, and I've said this before, love the wood beams. They're the trees that hold this place up. I love its simplicity. And I can feel the folks who died and who played and worshiped here. I love the creativity of this body. If something goes wrong, well, there's another path, and it often involves beauty. And dare I say it, but there is a bit of sauciness about all of you, and that guarantees that we will not get bored. The children. I love going to their events and watching them interact, but it is more than watching. It is being in and interacting with them. Look at this room. If we do not put resources into our children, then, folks, we've lost it all. The folks who are working on our governance, what a hard job to do. Not much chocolate given to this team, but they are working to make us solid and responsible. They are creating paths to follow so that we know our clear way home when we get lost or flounder. And I love the laughter that's in this building. Sometimes when I'm in the office, our laughter seeps through the hallway. And the music, joyous and wonderful music, thank you. And the finance folks. They have the unglamorous task of helping to keep us open and safe. Our amazing newcomers team, committed to a welcoming, loving embrace of our new members. Enough? That is a portion of my list. What is yours? I would ask you to do two things. Some of you might do this as a family unit. Look at the end of the year pie chart that was given to you if you have a credit card. Think of your values and what would you shift, if anything. Make a list of all the joys that you find at QUUF. That does not deny the pains, but sometimes it is easier to shout out what is going wrong. Folks, what is going right? And there is plenty of it. And when the list is finished, sit in gratitude, make your pledge, and rest in the good work that we are doing and want to continue doing. Nothing lasts forever. I have been a member of, or an employee of, institutions that have closed. Every school that I went to, up till graduate school, has closed. They couldn't make it financially. I've worked in churches that have closed. They couldn't make it financially. So if we love something, we hold it as if we would hold a fragile flower, and we assume that all of us will do our part. I trust that all of us can muster up a generous heart. I believe that an individual heart is good, but a collective heart is better. It is our collective, generous heart that will embolden QUUF to move forward to a new ground. Hire a developmental minister. Continue our striving to grow a sustainable earth, a world with racial and economic equity, and to bring our children into QUUF with a clear vision of who we are and what our values are. Supporting QUUF is one step in finding a purpose larger than the individual self. And give to ourselves generously. When we do that, we have more to give to others. And if we are waiting for QUUF to be the perfect community that we imagine, before we make a pledge, if we say, if this were better, if that were better, if only, well, what are we creating? I think it is an illusion. Would you stop feeding your own children if you did not like the actions that they did on a certain day or time? Gratefulness is alive during times of joy and in the hard times too. It is a life force. So here is a plan for some morning during this pledge drive. May we wake up with gratefulness. Savor the new morning. Call to mind all the ways in which we have been blessed. Peek out the window. Feed our pets. Take our QUUF pledge form, fill it out. Shout out names of QUFers who bring us joy. Dance around the table if we can. Put oh so sweet preserves on our sourdough bread toast. Play music that says, oh yeah. Follow a ray of sunshine as it appears. Brush our teeth. Hold up our arms in thankfulness. Go to the computer and zap our pledge for 2023-2024 and go forth to meet a wondrous, glorious day. May it be so. Our pledging song is Magic Penny. Please stand as you are willing or able.
Get your music, okay.
Love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Oh, love is something if you give it away, you end up having more. It's just like a magic penny, hold it tight and you won't have any. Lend and spend it and you'll have so many, they'll roll all over the floor. For love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Oh, love is something if you give it away, you'll end up having more. Money's dandy and we like to use it. Love is better if you don't refuse it. It's a treasure and you'll never lose it unless you lock up your door. For love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Oh, love is something if you give it away, you'll end up having more. So let's go dancing till the break of day, and if there's a piper, we can pay. For love is something if you give it away, you'll end up having more. Yeah! Let's go dancing till the break of day, and if there's a piper, we can pay. For love is something if you give it away, you'll end up having more.
That was fun. We should be throwing coins at each other. Please join us in our chalice extinguishing words, now that we have it lit. We extinguish our flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, the power of commitment, or the power of transformation. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Next week, Melody Moberg will be speaking on the topic of creativity as a spiritual practice. We hope that you can join us. Our postlude today is the Allegro from the Third Sonata for Flute, Violin, and Cembalo by Telemann.
Set change.